Good morning, Facebook family and friends, and my faithful loyal YouTube subscribers. Today is July the 9th, 2017. I know sometimes some of you all cannot hear me when I say the year. I put the year and date on there because the videos are indicative of. I want to do videos about the times that we're living in. So sometimes you all say, "Well, you said 2014." No, well, clearly we are in the year 2017, as I do not own a time machine. I'm going to title this video, it might be a little long, I'm going to try to keep it short, but I'm going to entitle this video, Atlanta is a terrible place for black gay men to live. Excuse me. And I know some people are probably ready to go straight into attack mode. The first thing they always say is, why are you living there? I moved here in 1989. My family moved here a year prior to me. And I moved here in 1989, a year after they had arrived here. I had no idea Atlanta was a black gay city, and I did not know it had a huge black gay population. They said, why do you remain here? My family is here. I've put down some very firm roots here since 1989. My income is here. My partner is here. Those are the reasons why I remain. And there's another thing. I'm not that actively involved in the black gay community because I learned years ago to kind of distance myself from these guys here. Because the black gay community in Atlanta is a very unproductive group of guys who are going nowhere fast. And I've known this for a long time. Probably a few years after I arrived here, I said, okay, I can continue to hang around these guys and go down this path with them, or I need to separate myself from the riffraff. So I made the decision that worked for me. I remained in Atlanta, but I separated myself from the gay community. What I mean by that is I didn't really get actively involved in a lot of activities I saw the vast majority of my friends from the black community were involved in. I would occasionally go out, but I wasn't a regular at the clubs. I would occasionally go to parties and functions, but I wasn't a regular on the scene. People knew me, and a lot of people have really known me through social media. And at one point, I even threw my own parties because I didn't like the parties and events that were taking place in the early 90s here in Atlanta, so I created my own events. And I did that for a long time before I got tired of that mess, too. Well, Atlanta, there's this false perception from people who live outside Atlanta that Atlanta is a place where black gay men move in and they're doing well and they're thriving. Some are. Some own homes, some have cars, some have good jobs. But the vast majority of black gay guys that live in the city are struggling. And when I tell you they are struggling, their utilities are turned off. Their water, utilities, their rent is past due and they're facing eviction or have already been evicted. They're living multiple people to an apartment to pay these bills and rents, and they're still struggling. The income, the jobs here, I don't know if it's the job market here in Atlanta or too many guys are moving here and just wasting their lives partying with drugs and sex and fucking and fucking and fucking. And they're throwing their lives away sitting here in Atlanta. And this probably could be happening everywhere. But I'm talking about Atlanta right now because I live here. And every day I meet young black gay men who move here expecting something. I don't know what they're expecting. And they find out the harsh reality. If you come to Atlanta, 9 times out of 10, you will end up HIV positive. If you come to Atlanta, 9 times out of 10, you may not find a job for months if you don't have one lined up here, maybe even years. I know plenty of guys living here who come here looking for jobs and they struggle. If you don't have a creative force inside you to be self-employed and create your own income, Atlanta is not the place for you. If you don't have a skill set that can be used by yourself to create your own job and income, don't move here with a resume. If all you have is a resume and an education, you're going to be in trouble. They got a million people running around here with resumes and college degrees who are unemployed, living 5 people to an apartment, and they are struggling. But if you look on social media, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram, you think these people are thriving. You think they are doing well. You think they live in a life. They look nice. They look clean. But if you ever meet these guys, and you walk into their filthy homes, and you see those empty refrigerators, and you see those dark apartments where the utilities have been turned off, and you see they're laying on the floor because they have no furniture, and you see that they have no food in the refrigerator, and you see this stuff, but when you look on social media, that's not what you see. I've met these guys. I've been to their homes. And I looked around and said, okay, how did you just get back from Paris? How were you traveling to Paris? But you're in this filthy apartment down here in the hood with no electricity. I'm just using that for an example. A lot of these guys traveled, all types of events. Everybody ran over to Madrid or something like that for some gay event or something. I look at these guys in Atlanta. See, I've been here for years. I'm not new to Atlanta. I know what this town is about. You can throw out an address and I say, I know exactly where that house is. Because I've been here forever. I've been up and down all these streets. I know this city very, 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 very. I know the people here very well. You have a lot of pretentious people here who put on these fronts. So people on the outside probably looking at Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and they're thinking, wow, those guys are really living it up. They're all taking pictures of nice clothes. They have these restaurants. They're traveling. They're doing this. They're doing that. But I'm here to tell you that is all false. I've had so many people call and hit me up for money. It is unreal. I've had so many people call in emergency saying they've been evicted from their apartment. Can you help them move someplace? I'm thinking, weren't you just at New York Pride? You were up there in New York Pride for a week or two in some nice hotel. I saw the pictures. Then you were in Washington, D.C. for this and traveling here, but you're getting evicted from your place. This is a true story. You're being put out on the street right now. Did you not know when you got that eviction letter and you had to go to court, you didn't go to court because you were out of town, you missed that court date? Day and straight. I've witnessed over the past few years, a ton of my associates get evicted from their apartments. The rent's only $500, $600, $700, $800. They can't pay it. They got rims on their cars. They in the gym working out. You got great bodies, but you ain't paid your bills. Your bills are not paid. Your utilities are off. You're sitting in a dark apartment, laying on the floor. You have no furniture. I had bought a couch when I moved into this home. It wasn't no expensive couch, but I gave it to a friend of mine. It was a brand new couch. He moved into an apartment. He moved into an apartment with no furniture, one bedroom, cute little apartment, very nice. I'm thinking, wow, okay. I gave him the couch because I didn't need it because I didn't like it. I had paid for it, a brand new couch. Took it over to him, he rented a van, came pick the couch up, got over to his apartment, loaded it into his apartment. Do you know that man got evicted out that apartment less than 60 or 90 days later? All that stuff that he had acquired, including the couch I gave him, were tossed onto the street. This brand new leather couch. I'm thinking, wow, you just let it be thrown out on the street? He didn't care. He lost his birth certificate, all this stuff. I'm thinking, where were you when all this was going on? Did you go to court for the eviction hearing because he had missed paying his rent? I didn't understand what was going on. Why would you rent an apartment that you can't afford to pay for? And if you can't afford to pay for it, figure out a way to pay for it. I even told him, why don't you go dance at Swinging Richards? He didn't want to do that. But you have this great body. Everybody's admiring you. Sometimes you have to do what you have to do to survive. If I thought I can get my old ass away from dancing up there at Swinging Richards to pay my bills, I would be out there learning the latest dance steps and hopping my asses on that stage naked. I'm very serious. I would pay my bills. I've lived in Atlanta for 30 years. I've never been evicted from an apartment. I've lost a few things over the years, especially when the economy tanked. I lost a lot of stuff. But ain't nobody ever knocked on this door and said, it's time for you to get out on putting you on the street this day. And even when I owned apartment buildings and rented them out to people, I found the gay guys were something about their attitude. They're here to party. Atlanta is a party city. So every day there's some type of club, event or party or pool party year round, 365 days a year. These guys are here partying. And I've always said, well, how do they get them to go to work the next day if they're out partying and going to after hours all night and doing drugs and stuff? When you have the energy to go to work, they don't go to work because they don't have a job to go to work to. This is all a false pretense. I'm telling you guys, listen to me clearly. Because I've seen so much of this in the past few years, it's just getting ridiculous. You got all these young folks moving here with dreams and hopes and aspirations, and it's not working out for these guys. And it could be because there's just too many black gay men here partying like wild animals. They move here trying to start a relationship with somebody. Well, how can you start a relationship and you're in the club every night, or that person's in the club every night? It ain't gonna work. You can't have a relationship with somebody in the club day and day from sun up to... this is insane. You have no income. You have no job. Your electricity's out. How can your relationship work? Both of y'all laid up in this apartment with your electricity out. I'm trying to understand this. You're 30-something years of age in an apartment. I'm not trying to tear people down, guys. I'm just putting out situations I've witnessed with my own two eyeballs recently. You have 30 men who are in a relationship. They're in their 30s. Both handsome, attractive people that are in the gym every day working out. But their Georgia Power has cut off the electricity in their apartment. They have not paid their rent. The car is being chased by a tow truck. But you're in the gym from sun up to sundown. Do you not know how to hustle? Do you know that YouTube will pay you for your videos if you post them on YouTube? You're an attractive guy. Can't you guys start a dance troupe? Go dance with women, men, whatever. Do something. I'm not going to sit in an apartment and let the electricity get turned off and it's 175 degrees outside. I'm not going to allow that to happen. Not to me. Hustle. Do something. But I'm seeing this over and over and over and over. Because see, this is the problem. On the exterior, they look great. Nice bodies, beard shaved, hair, everything looks fine. But there's a problem here. There's rocks upstairs in these guys' heads. And I'm meeting a ton of these guys. I meet them at the gym. They're in the gym working out all day. I ask them, oh, where do you work at? Oh, I don't have a job. I'm looking for a job. You know somebody who's hiring? Did you hear all day? You've been here for hours. You've been here for hours. You're here every day. When did you lose your job? Oh, last year. This is July. When last year did you lose your job? Oh, they laid me off back in March of last year. So, this is over a year. This is a true story. And I meet guy after guy after guy after guy like this, gay and straight. It's unfortunate. I wonder, is the situation better for our black sisters here in Atlanta? I just wonder. I don't know a lot of black sisters here. I see them. I'm going to have to start asking questions. Girl, are you working? Is everything, what's going on? Do you have a good job? You know, because I see people, I'm self-employed. I'm not in these businesses. But I've noticed something. No matter where I go here in Atlanta, I don't see any black men working. At any of these places, it could be a restaurant or you see a few sprinkled here, but you go into some of these businesses. I went into, forget where I went, and it was all white folks and black women. White men and women and black women. There was a black man in that place. And I remember looking around saying, wow, this is kind of strange. I don't see no black guys working here. Not one. But that was weird. People come here with all these expectations. I'm going to get a job. A good paying job. Because everybody's doing well from what I see in Atlanta. You got some guys driving some very nice cars here in the city. It's always been like that. The social media is a beast. Full of lies and dishonesty. A lot of stuff that you see on social media, I never forget. I used to follow this guy on Instagram. And he always had these nice clothes. He was always clean. I remember saying, wow, where'd you get his clothes from? I mean, he must be spending a lot of money on clothes. So I didn't really know who he was. I just saw him on Instagram. He was always posting pictures. He's at this event and this party and this club and here and there. And I'm looking. And then I met him. He had no money. He had no car, no income, no assets. He had clothing, but he was recycling these clothes. He was living in a basement apartment, sleeping on an air mattress that had no heat. Or I was in shock that this is how this man was living here in Atlanta. Because again, on social media, his Instagram page, he was living his wonderful life. Down in New Orleans for Mardi Gras. Here doing this, there, everywhere. Down in Miami Beach for Sizzle. Just living this wonderful life. But in reality, this nigga was not surviving at all. He wasn't. He ended up moving back home to his family. He said he struggled here. And I said, well, on your Instagram, it didn't look like you were struggling. It looked like you were living a wonderful life. I mean, so you look at these social medias. I'm doing this video because I want to warn people. There's a lot of false stuff going on here in Atlanta that's fake. I see these guys, and I'm telling you, there's a whole slew of them on Instagram, and Facebook, and Twitter, and YouTube, and they're doing nothing with their lives. But on the outside, you think they're having a productive life. They're taking pictures. They're in high-rise apartment buildings. They're doing this, they're doing that. A lot of these guys have drug problems. How they pay for these drugs? I guess maybe they somewhat. It's kind of hard to sell drugs and do drugs. Something's gonna go awry. Now, if you're gonna sell drugs, sell them. But you shouldn't be selling them and using them. That's a no-no. So you have some guys selling drugs, using drugs. So you know that ain't gonna work out too well because they brain fat most of the time. You can't keep track of your money doing that way. Selling drugs and doing drugs. You know, people want to criticize me and say some stuff about me when it comes to. I'm just going to tell you how I've seen it. I've been living here for a while. And you say, I love when people say, well, there are some people doing well in Atlanta. There are some people who, for the most part, on the outside looking in, it seems as if they are doing well. I'm telling you this because I live here and I meet these guys. I meet a ton of motherfuckers. I ain't that bad looking. I meet guys all the damn time. And they're struggling. There are some people, like I said, there's some who are possibly doing okay. A few. There are a few. I mean, I'm not hurting over here. My bills are paid. I got cars are paid. Insurance is paid. Car notes are paid. And I could stroke a check if I wanted to pay off these cars if I wanted to. I've lived here for 30 years. I've learned how to survive here. And if I had to dance naked at Swinging Richards, I would take me a shower and head over there right damn now. I don't have this. A buddy of mine sent me a text. And we were talking. And he said a lot of guys, gay guys in Atlanta, are worried about their reputation and their image. Well, how are you worried about your reputation and your image if you're living 5 people to a apartment or home that you're renting? 4 or 5 people living in this place, and it's filthy, and you all have not paid the bills. How you got 4 and 5 people and your utilities are passed to? Something not right here. You got 4 and 5 losers in there. At least if you're going to do this type of stuff and you're going to live in a group home setting like that, as I see it, y'all should at least be able to come together as a group and keep the lights on. All right. I mean, come up with some solutions. I'm looking at these guys, and this is a complete catastrophe here. It is a catastrophe. People are going to criticize me for this video because you got a lot of liars in this town. They lie and lie, and a lot of blacks live in denial. This problem that I'm talking about in the black gay community is also indicative of the straight community. You got a lot of brothers here who are struggling here. That's why a lot of these brothers walk away from taking care of these kids they have with these women, and they don't have no way to pay for these children. They don't have an income or a job or something like that. And people say, yeah, you can find a job. Good luck. If you don't have a skill set, a wanted skill set, or a degree that's in demand, an education that's in demand. I had a buddy who moved here from New York. I just spoke to him yesterday. He moved here from New York. He was here struggling. I know so many people who moved here from New York and various places up north. They can't survive here. They end up going back north. And anyway, my buddy, he moved down.